I grew up in the shadow of a star. That star was my sister, Lily. Our house was always filled with people, uncles, aunts, cousins, family, friends. They swarmed our backyard like bees to honey, drawn in by my mother's famous barbecue and more importantly, the chance to see Lily perform. Our backyard wasn't just a yard, it was a stage. A perfectly manicured lawn, a towering oak tree in the background, and a little wooden swing that might as well have been a throne for my sister. "Daddy, light the grill," someone would call, and just like that, the air would fill with the smoky aroma of sizzling meat, blending with the sound of laughter and clinking glasses. Then the real show would begin. "Lily, sweetheart," Aunt Marge would croon, her voice cutting through the noise. "Sing us a little something, won't you?" And, of course she would. Lily would jump onto a chair, her golden curls bouncing, a mischievous twinkle in her eyes. She'd clear her throat dramatically then, as if she had been born to do it, belt out, "My Heart Will Go On," in her best Celine Dion impersonation. The crowd would go wild, cheers, applause, even a few happy tears from my dad, who wiped his eyes, like a proud father at a Broadway premiere. My mom would clasp her hands together and beam as if she had just given birth to the next big superstar. And me? I'd be off to the side, trying to blend in with the bushes. I wasn't jealous, not exactly. But when I opened my mouth to sing, my voice sounded like a dying cat. When I tried poetry, my tongue tangled over the words until I turned red with embarrassment. It wasn't just the relatives who saw the difference. My parents made it clear, too. Lily had ballet classes, voice lessons, and art workshops. I had books, and the only person who seemed to notice me at all was Aunt Maggie. She would find me behind the garage or curled up in the treehouse, nose buried in some dusty old book. "What adventure are you on today, Cameron?" she'd ask, settling down beside me. I'd glance up, grateful for the distraction. "Ancient Egypt," I'd say, showing her the cover. She'd nod, eyes twinkling. "You've got a good head on your shoulders, girl. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise." Those moments were my escape. With Aunt Maggie, I didn't have to perform. I didn't have to impress anyone. I could just be me, quiet, bookish Cameron. But no matter how much I cherished those stolen moments, they couldn't erase the sting of being the forgotten child. Every time Lily won an award, there were gifts, new clothes, the latest gadgets, whatever she wanted, and me, hand-me-downs and half-hearted good jobs. I learned early that if I wanted something, I'd have to fight for it myself. And so I did. While Lily lived in the spotlight, I found my place in the classroom. I wasn't just a good student, I was the best. While Lily was practicing her high notes, I was devouring textbooks. While my parents drove her to competitions, I stayed up, late, solving complex equations and writing essays. I wasn't looking for their praise anymore. I just wanted to prove, to myself, that I was worth something. By the time I reached high school, I was at the top of my class. Teachers praised me, classmates respected me, and for the first time, I felt like I had something Lily didn't, something that was mine alone. But at home, nothing changed. Senior year rolled around, and college applications became the main topic at the dinner table. For Lily. "Oh, sweetheart," Mom gushed one evening, flipping through Lily's portfolio. "This campaign idea is brilliant. You're going to be the best in your advertising program." I clenched my fork, staring at my plate. "What about me?" I blurted out. "I want to go to college, too. I want to study management." The table fell silent. Then, laughter. Mom wiped her eyes. "Oh, honey," she said between giggles. "We don't have money for that. You need to get a job after graduation." Dad nodded. "You can work for Frank at the restaurant. It'll be good for you." I stared at them, my vision blurring. "But I'm top of my class," I whispered. They exchanged glances, as if this was the first time they were hearing it. "Well, I'll be damned," Dad muttered. "When did that happen?" I ran to my room. grabbed my report card and slammed it onto the table. Straight A's. Mom had the decency to look embarrassed. Cameron, we had no idea. But there's still no money, Dad interrupted. That's just how it is. My dreams shattered. But then Aunt Maggie stepped in. You're going to college, Cameron, she told me. I have some savings, and I'd be damned if I let your talent go to waste. For the first time, I had hope, and I clung to it for dear life. College was everything I had dreamed of. I worked hard, got a degree, and landed a management job at a prestigious restaurant. Meanwhile, Lily's life took a turn. She got pregnant, the father left, and she ended up working at Frank's restaurant. The same job my parents had tried to force on me. Irony, right? I should have gloated. But I didn't. I just focused on my life. Until the betrayal. One evening, I was scrolling through Facebook when I saw it. A video posted by Aunt Maggie. It was from a family gathering I had missed. In the video, my mother, was ranting, drunkenly. And Cameron? That ungrateful little freeloader? She sneered. She barely helps us. We're struggling and all she does is live off our generosity. My father nodded. It's Lily keeping that fancy restaurant afloat. Cameron just rides her coattails. I sat there, frozen. How could they, after everything I had done? Aunt Maggie's comment on the video made me cry. I won't delete this. It's time everyone knew the truth. I picked up my phone. Cut them off, Cameron, Aunt Maggie said when she answered. And so, I did. I stopped sending them money. I stopped taking their calls. And you know what? My life got better. Without the weight of their expectations and demands, I felt free for the first time in my life. I threw myself into my work, and soon, my dedication paid off in ways I never imagined. One afternoon, my boss, Mr. Reeves, called me into his office. My heart pounded. I had no idea what to expect. He leaned back in his chair and smiled. Cameron, he said, I'm retiring next year, and I want you to take over as CEO of the restaurant group. I sat there, stunned into silence. Are you sure? I finally stammered. I've never been more sure of anything, he said firmly. You're the reason this business has thrived. It's time you take the lead. The words hit me like a wave. I had spent my whole life being told I wasn't good enough, that I was invisible, that my success didn't matter. But now, someone saw me, really saw me, and they believed in me. I walked out of his office with my head held high, feeling something. I had craved for years, validation. I had done this. Me. Not because of my parents, not because of Lily, but because I had fought for it. A few weeks later, my phone buzzed. It was my mother. For a moment, I considered ignoring it, but curiosity got the best of me. Cameron, honey, she said, her voice dripping with forced sweetness. We were hoping you might come over to talk. I hesitated. But in the end, I agreed. That Sunday, I stood on the porch of my childhood home, my hand hovering over the doorbell. Before I could press it, the door swung open. Cameron! My mother gasped, pulling me into a tight hug as if nothing had ever happened. Inside, I found my father, Lily, and a toddler, my niece. The air was thick with tension, like they all knew what was coming. Dad cleared his throat. You look good, kiddo, he said. We hear you're doing well for yourself. I nodded, staying cautious. I am. I'm the new CEO of the restaurant group. Their eyes widened in shock. Mom fidgeted with her hands. That's amazing, sweetie, she murmured. Actually, that's part of why we wanted to talk. I already knew what was coming. We were wondering, she hesitated, glancing at Lily, if you could help Lily get a better job at your restaurant. I looked at my sister. She avoided my gaze, bouncing her daughter on her knee. It was almost laughable. After all these years, after being ignored, belittled, and called a freeloader, now they needed me. I took a deep breath. I'll see what I can do, I said coolly. No promises. And I meant it. But here's the twist. Lily actually did well at the job. She was efficient, charming, and surprisingly professional. And while we weren't suddenly best friends, something shifted between us. One evening after closing, she approached me. "I never said this before," she murmured. "But I'm sorry, Cameron, for everything." I studied her face, searching for deception. But there was none. For the first time, I saw her not as the golden child, but as a woman who had fallen, gotten back up, and was trying, just like me. I nodded. "It's okay." And in that moment, I meant it. My parents. On the other hand, that was a different story. Once they realized I wasn't going to hand over money like an ATM, their attitude changed fast. "You owe us," Mom snapped over the phone one day. "We're your parents." "No," I said, my voice steady. "I owe you nothing." And for the first time in my life, I hung up on them. I blocked their numbers. I changed my locks. I walked away. Because I finally understood. Family isn't about blood. It's about the people who show up for you. The people who believe in you. The people who love you. Not because they expect something in return, but because they choose to. And I had that. I had Aunt Maggie. I had my colleagues. I had myself. And that was enough. A year later, on a crisp autumn afternoon, I stood in front of Aunt Maggie's house, holding a small box. When she opened the door, I grinned. "This is for you," I said, handing it to her. She opened it, revealing the latest smartphone, the one she had been eyeing for months but refused to buy for herself. "Oh, Cameron," she gasped. "This is too much." I pulled out my own phone. "Not at all. Now, let me show you how to use it." For the next 3 weeks, I taught Aunt Maggie the ins and outs of social media. She took to it like a pro, filling her page with videos of her garden, her cat, and her famous apple pie. And every day, I'd check in, liking, commenting, laughing at her little updates, because that's what real family does. They show up, they stay, and they love you for exactly who you are. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more shocking real-life stories.